Their weapons and biology were obsolete. The speaker stood before the entire Imperial War College Corps of Cadets. Well, the Major pondered for a moment. Their weapons were clearly obsolete. Powder-based propellants and metal projectiles were their main methods of warfare, but their biology is tricky. A holograph of a human manifested on the stage next to a rotating display of a planet. 4 limbs and 2 eyes on the cephalic, endoskeletons and 5 fingers on their hands, about 1.5 standard meters in height, but strong, bulky, and mental titans of battle. The biological problems can wait, their mindset must be addressed. Their history is wrought with warfare, thousands of cycles of conquest and collapse, each rendering a more ruthless method of slaughter than the last. Blotches of colour appeared on the holograph of the human homeworld as it flattened out. Each colour represents a nation-state, its shape altering as it's conquered and revolts. Similar colours designate alliances. Warfare shaped their psyche. One continent of their race almost ruled their entire planet. They fought 2 planetary wars in just 50 cycles. Then they endured 120 of peace. For a brief moment, the borders of their planet remained mostly stationary. Massive amounts of their population lost their warrior ethos until the resource wars, and they never looked back. The coloured outline split at a few points. Then the whole order broke into chaos, lines shifting, splitting, and expanding, until 3 points began an unyielding advance across the planet. 3 massive hyperpowers forged through fire, conquest, and resolve, which wrecked their whole planet down in a third and devastating terrabellum. Around this point, although hindered by massive destruction, their technology allowed exoplanetary mining to be feasible. This is when they entered our galactic community. We never needed to deal with a divided, spacefaring species before. Our initial contact stuns the humans, as it does every species. Well, they remain a divided species today, and a political nightmare for us, but their biological capacity for warfare? The display flashed to a paused holovid of a team of human soldiers. A red glow around them indicated their condition. Wounded, exhausted, and dehydrated. They were in a wedge formation spaced 15 meters apart. A flat outline of one soldier appeared with vital statistics. Blood loss was at 20%. Rifle ammunition was down to a final magazine of 40 and 2 full 15-round magazines for his sidearm. The body had exhausted the last consumed energy intake and was burning up stored fat. This is their warrior mentality. These 4 men are all that remains of a platoon. One platoon with bayonets fixed, covering a single bottleneck as his battalion retreats during the bio-war on Travicus. The video played in silence. The 4 fired in single shots. Casings flew through the air. Then, 2 3-meter-tall armoured creatures appeared at the far end of the projection. These monstrosities are the biologically engineered warriors of the Archive. Ape-like with claws for hands and a massive pain tolerance. And this is these humans' last stand. They concentrate fire. Notice the change in the state in this human's personal information. Notice the shift in colour to blue. This is the release of their adrenaline. It's potent. It's blocking out pain. It's increasing their reflexes and sharpening their fighting prowess. The ape charged forward, rounds shredding at his armour and skin. It roared forward and ripped into the first soldier. The Corps gasped. The humans were glowing blue, rifles now expending rounds at burst speeds. Their heart rate is off the charts, a percentage increase we cannot even fathom, yet they controlled their breathing, each shot landing on its target. Pay attention to the human farthest from the attackers. The stat screen beeped as the farthest human ran out of rifle rounds and switched to the slower and controlled single shots of his handgun. The 3 remaining soldiers continued to lay fire on the advancing beasts before they could reach their second victim. Their concentrated fire brought it down. The Corps opened in a cheer that died as quickly as it erupted. The last beast had ripped another soldier in half. Rounds continued to fly, and the beast closed in on the 3rd human, a claw spearing through his torso and ripping him in half. Another beep. The last human had expended his very last round. The holovid paused and rotated to give a better view of the human and beast. Their eyes locked. The video began in slow motion as the human reached for his slung rifle and pulled it to his hip. His mandible dropped, skin stretched, and his veins bulged as the human screamed and leapt forward. At bayonet point, he charged the monstrosity that had destroyed his brothers. The Corps were in silent awe. A bayonet charge. The creature stabbed the human in the chest. A massive red oval appeared on his stat screen where the claw had penetrated, and the human threw his rifle. The bayonet pierced the ape's cheek as the human flatlined. That charge, that refusal to quit, that spirit to give their last full measure in the face of death, is why they won.